Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GamersGrove podcast, episode 6. Today is March 11th, on a Sunday, 2018. I am your host, Will, here with my co-host, Brady.
Hello.
We do not have Austin today. He is very busy with his midterms, so once again, you just get the two of us today. But everything will be just as fun. So, as always, we have a few quality of life updates for you before we jump into things. We do have a Steam group. We've had this group for years, and we just kind of forgot to mention it until now. So we'll have a link for that. If you play any PC games, you want to join up our group, play games with us, that would be
Master
cool.
Race, so please join.
Yes, join there. We also have the Discord, like we mentioned before. We would love to have you join up with us on the Discord. And also, if you are watching this on YouTube, you've already noticed, but you can see our lovely faces today and our nice little backgrounds. So for anybody who's not, if you want to see that, we will also have gameplay footage and those sorts of things to go along with whatever games we're talking about. So a bit more to look at if you feel like watching on YouTube. I guess with all that, we'll jump right into things. The only game we've really been playing this week has been SCP, Secret Laboratory. That stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. It is a procedurally generated horror survival game, I believe. It's pretty new. It's early access, only 3 months in development, but it is free, so we're giving it a pass.
Yeah,
we will play
exactly.
it because we're not paying for it. That makes it okay. But it's a remake of a game from 2012, I believe, that was called SCP Containment Breach. And for those of you who don't know, SCP is just it started off as like a creative writing group, like way back in the early 2000s, that just turned into this whole horror setting about secret monsters that the government is hiding and experimenting on. The game itself, though, is quite fun. It is very, very new, and it shows. But it's fun. It's nice. There's a nice level of complexity to it. You know, it's not just like there's people and there's monsters and you gotta stay alive.
Yeah.
It's there's 5 different factions you can be, and they all play into each other in different sorts of ways. They all have their own goals. It's pretty in depth, and it'll be nice to see what comes of it in the future. You know, again, honestly, I mean, considering the fact it's only 3 months in,
Yeah.
it's pretty well developed so
Yeah,
far.
Exactly. I mean, it's just one of those fun multiplayer games that, you know, it's almost like Trouble in Terrorist Town, those sorts of things. Just play online with your friends and a bunch of randoms and just mess around. But that's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is very fun. Funny enough, me and Brady, when we first found this game, like 2.5 weeks ago, we figured we would play it just the two of us to like get a feel for it, so we could talk about it on the podcast. And we got so scared we had to stop after 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that. Like, there's, you know, with the factions, people also plays the SCPs, we call them, which are like the monsters. Yeah, the monsters. And yeah, they try and kill you. It might seem, you know, it's like, oh, that's not scary at all, but when you're just walking and then turn around, there's some random like creature standing behind you.
Thing.
Yeah, some dude in like a old plague mask, you know. It's a little spooky.
Yeah, we also do scare very easily, so that's something to take into consideration.
Exactly.
But I mean, the game, like, it's nowhere near as scary when you have like an army of people chilling out with you and just shouting nonsense. It helps lower the tension a bit. Definitely. But the game is quite fun. The guy is making it's being developed by one dude. He has a Patreon. I think that's how he's getting his funds for it. So we'll link that too if you want to check all that stuff out. You know, he'll give more information than we can here. But really, that's it for games, we do have a lot of news to talk about. A lot of stuff happened.
Good news too
this week. Yeah, it's actually good stuff. It's pretty much all good news. I think.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
So no cynicism this week. Just only good vibes. The first piece, hopefully, yeah. Well, we might find a way. The first piece we will talk about is the Fortnite update. Fortnite is coming to mobile, iOS, and Android devices. I don't believe they gave a release date for that. But that is a pretty big piece of... Did they?
Yeah, as soon as Monday. So the March 12th, they'll start sending invites out for iOS. Yeah. Like, it was... we're recording a Sunday, so tomorrow.
Wow. That's...
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, you could sign up Monday.
So it's not like everybody can play it. You get a chance to like get invited to it.
Yeah, but then so when they send you an invite, they also send you an invite for your friends. So they'll send you a couple invites. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I guess they didn't say the date, but you could sign up for invite tomorrow.
Right. Okay, so it may not come out on Monday, but we can sign up to join.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it must be somewhat soon if there's like, we released it. Or we announced it Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, whenever, and then they're like, Monday, you can sign up.
Yeah. I think this sounds like it is a kind of immediate response to PUBG's mobile thing. You know?
Definitely.
Maybe they're trying to reach out to the Chinese markets a bit more.
Yeah, so even though it's only in China, this is definitely the competition. But But competition's good. Competition is what, makes them innovate faster and come up with better and newer things to do and with the game and everything.
Yeah, when there's a monopoly, that's when developers start getting lazy and not caring.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nobody to steal their audience away.
And I'm also interested, I just thought about this, if they'll use Unreal Engine for mobile. I don't know if that's a thing. Because I know, that's Epic Games' engine. I wonder how they're gonna...
It is a thing. I know I've played it was like a Diablo clone type of mobile game, and I'm pretty positive I remember seeing an Unreal logo. I think... No, yeah. Unreal does have mobile support. Back when I was developing games back in school, there is an option to do mobile and iOS stuff. I don't know how it works because I never actually tinkered with it. But the option is there. It can be done.
That's cool. Hopefully it's... Because the PUBG mobile version is really laggy and just pretty much bad. So we'll see how Epic optimizes this for mobile.
I also wonder... I guess this isn't the biggest deal, but if my stuff will transfer over, my cosmetics and, my costumes level.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's it's not a big deal, but I'd still like to be playing as my guy.
Yeah, and another thing to mention is that it's going to be cross-platform, so I'd hope that it'd be, your stuff transfers, because it's I'm about to leave, I'm gonna hop on the bus or whatever. I'm gonna, get in a game of Battle Royale and Fortnite. Yeah,
wait,
get home
and I could be in a game. I could be playing on my PC, and I'm in a game with somebody on their phone.
Yeah, I wrote a little thing on the website. You can go check it out. And I said I was like, it's gonna be cross-platform between PC, PS4, and mobile. And I was like, okay. I was like, if I were, someone playing on the mobile, I would not want to play against, someone on the console, let alone someone on the PC. It's that's pretty ridiculous. The advantage is way
we're not being cocky when we say it is easier to play on the PC. I have way better range of control with aiming my weapons over somebody on a joystick, definitely over somebody on a phone.
Yeah, I don't. So
I don't know how that's gonna go over.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be on Mac. I forgot to mention Mac. But
Mac as well. Wow, they're just getting everything.
Yeah, but then also when the cross-platform, you don't hear Xbox in there, and I think Xbox and Sony, kind of butt heads a lot when it comes to this kind of stuff, because they tried to get cross-platform on Rocket League, Psyonix, however you say their name. They literally said it's like we could do it in a click of a button pretty much and have it ready, but the two of them just have to agree. And in the announcement, Epic Games also said that it's in partnership with Sony, so it almost sounds like they had a choice, like who they wanted to
well, it kind of makes sense, because I'm pretty sure PUBg is only on the Xbox.
Yep, and that's another thing. So it's like, all right, well, the audience is most likely bigger on the PS4, so might as well focus that and just grow that before they move over to Xbox, if they ever do.
Battle Royale is starting up the old which is better, PS4 or Xbox war once again.
They said they'll have like this. I don't know if this will be like what you said, the transferability, but they said they'll have regular updates, same maps and content, just like all the other, just like PC and the consoles. So I don't know what that means in terms of.
If anything, considering how we spoke about Overkill and their way outdated Payday 2, at least if you decide to play Fortnite on the phone, it sounds like you'll have the same version that we're all playing on PC and PS4.
But I think mobile games are like on the rise, maybe not so much in the United States, but definitely in Asia and then more Eastern markets, just because of how much they use their phones. And because like EA just released, I know EA's, but they released The Sims Mobile, and within like a day it had over, at least on Android, 1 million downloads, which is kind of a lot, for a game just coming out.
Mobile's definitely the thing. I mean, everybody has a mobile phone, and most people have at least one game on their phones, for when they need to kill time.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's just something simple.
Yeah. So it's I think it's the right move, especially, considering their main competitor PUBg did it, why not they do it too?
Yeah. But something I forgot to mention this. So Tencent, who owns, the conglomerate, they own like everything in China pretty much.
Right.
They own, Riot Games, and Supercell, but they also own Epic Games, and Tencent published the PUBg mobile version in China, which is weird to think about, because it's like they're competing with themselves in a way with releasing Fortnite or mobile, like their subsidiaries releasing Fortnite Mobile in the States.
That is weird. I wonder, like, how does that work out in their benefit?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like Nintendo, releasing a new DS and the Switch. They're just competing with themselves.
Right. Well, speaking of Nintendo, that brings us to our next piece of news. It's something everybody's been asking for since the Nintendo Switch first came out. We have now got a confirmation of Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Everybody is very happy about that, I'm sure.
Rejoice.
I'm not very good at Smash, but it's a fun party game, so can't complain.
Exactly.
And on top of that, so far they did release like a very small teaser trailer, but it does show that the Splatoon characters, the little squid kids, are confirmed to be joining the fight.
Yep.
We don't know who else is gonna be there, but we at least got that. I'm sure all the classics will be there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they might do something, because Breath of the Wild and Mario, so they might add something from those games in.
True, that is very true.
And then
I would like to see a Solid Snake come back. I think he was in Brawl. I'm not sure.
But you could, in the trailer, they kind of show like almost like outlines of people very briefly. True. People have been speculating like they saw like Donkey Kong and Bowser, all the big people that stick out a lot. But the other ones are kind of hard to see. But I think they'll have the original cast. Maybe not everyone, but most of the original cast, and then they'll just add people to it. And obviously new maps and stuff. But I wonder if they'll add, because wasn't Pikachu in the first one?
Yes, Pikachu was in a few of them.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll add a different Pokemon. I kind of think that'd be cool with all, they've released so many since that then.
Would be cool. I think in the newest Smash, God, I don't even know what the name of it is, but the most recent Smash Brothers has the Pokemon trainer, and he's basically you can play as Charizard, Venusaur, or Blastoise.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So it is, and there is a lot of they do have a lot of Pokemon in those games, but I mean. They keep releasing Pokemon games, so they could keep releasing more Pokemon for the Smash games.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and then I also wonder how, because I know Smash esports is like, it's kind of niche, but it's like pretty big, and they all play on the GameCube, all these old CRTs. So I wonder if they'll switch over or how that will go.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Nintendo's going to be like, you have to play it with our Switch controllers. You do not get it. Everybody will want it. They'll be like, please give us the GameCube controller. And they will say no.
I didn't think about that because, all those pros are so good on the GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Well, that's why most tournaments, or for Super Smash tournaments, still play Brawl, I think. Brawl or Melee, one of those two.
I don't know.
That's how most of the competitives go.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, will this, finally replace that game?
Yeah, I know. It's been around for, they're just playing a GameCube. So, I mean, that just says how long it's been around for.
Yeah, exactly.
But, and it's I think, did they say it's coming out in 2018, or is it just assumed? I
think it's just assumed. Yeah. I would be shocked if it took them longer than that. I don't think they'll need that much time.
Yeah.
This is probably something they've been working on for a while, and now they're just all right, it's close enough that we can throw out a little teaser. Get people.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the ball rolling.
Yep. Yeah. So who knows? There's a lot to compete with this year because there's a lot coming out. So, but I mean, I guess Nintendo doesn't really have to compete with much because. I don't know. It's their own platform.
They just got their own thing going. Nintendo's above it all.
Yep.
Well, speaking of new releases, we also have a confirmation from Ubisoft about The Division 2.
Yeah.
That is pretty exciting. If for those who don't know, The Division is what has been coined a looter shooter. Essentially, you kill bad guys, you loot them to get better guns and armor, so you can kill more bad guys. And that's the gist of the game. Obviously, it goes more in depth than that, but that is kind of the core gameplay loop. I think this is good news overall. The Division, when it originally came out, was pretty negatively received. It had a lot of problems in just about every aspect of the game. But over now, I think it's been about 3 years. 2 years since its release. 2 years since it's come out. They've fixed a lot, and people have said they really did a 180, and the game is actually very fun now. And they started this announcement statement by saying we're going to take everything we learned from the first Division and implement it into the new one. So we got that going at least.
I mean, I thought that's what Activision said for Bungie. Bungie said for Destiny 2.
Oh, you went there.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
What, Destiny is pretty hated right now.
Destiny is just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, they're similar games if you haven't really played either of them.
Yeah, exactly. They are kind of the two direct competitors to each other, because I guess outside of Borderlands
and Warframe,
there's not really.
But Warframe's free to play, so I don't really consider them too much of a competitor.
I guess the Division and Destiny are the two AAA shooter games, and they're also big online multiplayer games, so that plays into it too. But that's a good point that this could be the final nail in the coffin for Destiny 2. Even though at this point Destiny 2 is already pretty much in the ground and buried.
Yeah, exactly.
The way it's going, they got a lot of fixing to do.
I wonder how much how many concurrent players Destiny has still, because when I hopped on the Division to get some footage for the podcast, I checked in on Steam Community Hub, and there's about 6,000 people in game, which isn't bad. At least for some Ubisoft games.
Yeah,
but
it's not terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to know how it compares.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. But I don't know how accessible that data is.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yep.
Blizzard. It's really easy to Blizzard. It's easy to pull like data on any game on Steam. Like there's websites for it that just show like how many people are playing, how many people bought it, etc. But everything that's outside of Steam is kind of like impossible unless the developers straight up come out and tell you.
Yeah. And
if your game is tanking, they're not going to tell you that, you know? They don't want to let us know, there's only 200 people playing our game.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, but it's Division 2 is also supposed to be a sequel to the first one. I don't really know in terms of story, though. Like, I don't think many people play it for the story. Although they were pushing the story because they came with little like short series and stuff along with it, but I don't know.
It was a cool concept when it came out.
Oh yeah,
I remember being interested, but then it just like fell flat on its face right on release, and I was like, all right, well, never mind.
Well, I think they teased it too early because I remember seeing it a long time ago, and I'm thinking like, this is like the next gen, like this is the next big thing. And then it kind of died down, and then it's like, oh, it's out. Like, I guess I should try it.
Yeah, it really is a process. You've really got to think about even just when to announce you're working on something, because people could get super hyped, but then if it doesn't come out in the next like month or two, they'll forget.
Yeah, or you need to keep release like trickling little bits of information to the audience to keep them interested.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if I saw it at one of the E3s. Their Ubisoft's in that like show or whatever. They announce everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just remember it being really cool, like you said, and almost this like next gen kind of innovative
and
gameplay.
Then none of that was there when it came out.
Yeah, which is like every Ubisoft game.
Yeah,
like Ghost Recon.
Ubisoft in particular is notorious when it comes to E3 tech demos because they look so good, and then the actual game is like nothing.
Yeah.
It is worth noting that the Division 2 is being developed. I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious from the quote, but it's being developed by the same studio. But basically, every other studio that Ubisoft owns is helping them development. The studio is named Massive Entertainment. They also made Far Cry 3, which is by many considered to be the best Far Cry game.
Yeah.
So it's it's good. I'm glad that they're getting the same people. A lot of companies would think like, well, you guys bombed the first one, so we're gonna get some new guys to do it. But Ubisoft stuck to their guns, and now Massive Entertainment has a even further chance to redeem themselves.
Yep.
And hopefully it'll be pretty good. Hopefully we don't get a liar tech demo.
Did what engine was a Division on?
Ooh,
I don't know off the top of my head.
That can't be right. I was gonna say the Frostfire engine? That
the
one Battlefield
Frostbite?
uses. Frostbite.
Yeah.
I think
you might
I don't
be
know
right.
if that's right.
I don't know. Because I'm just thinking, because what was Steep on?
Steep? Ooh, that is a good question too, and I actually do not know. Okay, here we go. I found it.
Because I feel like they'll use the same one, because Steep looked pretty good. That was about the only thing good about it, though.
Yeah. The engine is called the Snowdrop engine.
Close.
It was
close naming.
It was developed specifically for the Division.
Oh, okay. I kind of remember, because I remember them like almost advertising like that, like something about how it looked and stuff. Oh, okay, interesting. I wonder if they'll still use that then, or improve on it or something.
That's hard to say. I think developing an engine takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
but I figure it's still fairly new.
What was Steep on? Is that on the same one? Because I'm just thinking that's like one of their newer games, and it looked nice. They might be able to use that on Division 2 or on Division 2.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Let's see if I can find that real quick. It is the Anvil Next 2.0. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I have no idea. All right.
Not the same though.
I guess we'll just find out, because the Division, it doesn't look like bad. Like it looks, it looks pretty good, but nothing insane or to be in awe about. But
I think it's a pretty safe bet to say it'll be the same engine, maybe more refined.
Yeah,
but definitely, I think they'll keep the same engine.
It actually runs like pretty smooth, like it's pretty well optimized compared to a lot of games coming out recently.
Yeah. And speaking of developing your own engines, man, these segues all kinds of good we got killer transitions. Valve has announced that they are going to make video games again. I say, I don't believe you, but essentially they've kind of come out and said that they want to. Well, it seems this way that they're almost jealous of Nintendo because Nintendo develops all their own hardware. Did he actually just straight up say that?
Valve was jealous of Nintendo, how they have the expertise to, quote, develop hardware and software simultaneously, end quote.
There you go. Yeah, Gabe Newell decided he'd had enough, I guess. Because, I mean, the Valve that most of us have grown up with at this point is now just like they develop hardware and they give updates to their games that are already out,
And Steam
they
every
make
day.
Money. And Steam, they put all their time into Steam, so it's good. Nintendo gave them a kick in the butt, showing them, with the Switch. I bet you it was the Switch and Breath of the Wild and all that stuff.
Yep.
And Valve's like, we could do that. So good.
Yep.
Competition breeds, better stuff for us.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but I think another thing with the hardware is because Valve has the Vive, which is probably the best VR headset right now. And, Nintendo with the Switch, their controllers are little, what do they call them, like Joy-Cons or something?
Yes, Joy-Cons.
They have games you could, kind of with like the Wii, you could do stuff with it and everything. I think Valve was kind of like, we do that with the Vive, but they kind of do it just as good without, all this hardware set up around your room to do everything, to transfer everything, to the console. And I think that kind of got to them like, wait, we do that too, but we have to. It takes a lot more for us to do it.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think with that they want to develop a game that they also make the hardware too, so they could fine tune it and compete most likely. But then also they could just be like, well, we already have the technology. So why don't we just make the game around technology, which, leads us to think they're going to make a VR game.
They're definitely going to make VR games.
I actually think they even said that, they're one of them or two of them or something is VR, which is...
they have confirmed, so far, I think, as far as like game development, they've confirmed a quote-unquote fully-fledged single-player game and like a couple VR games. I think that single player game could even be one of the VR games, honestly.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, 3 big VR games.
It makes sense, like that they want to use their software or their hardware and make games for it, because that's what Nintendo does, and they straight up said they're jealous of Nintendo. But there's a big difference between me getting a Nintendo Switch and Joy-Cons, which is about $300, versus me buying an HTC Vive, which is $800?
Yeah, like triple the price.
Yeah, big difference there. So I hope they still remember their roots and make some PC games.
Yeah, because he said, another quote, he says, but sort of this is Gaben I'm talking about, but sort of the big thing, the new arrow we have in our quiver really is our ability to develop hardware and software simultaneously. So, I don't know. We'll see. And they also, because they're also working on, I don't know if we said it, the new Source engine, like Source 2.
Yes.
So that could, this is the other thing, they might be making that engine like to be really well optimized with VR. Because I don't really know if the current Source engine really supports VR that much because it's so outdated.
Probably not.
But I wouldn't be surprised
if
they make that around VR because of their hardware. And that'd go along with their software too, to say they're making.
It would definitely make sense. I think it's kind of something a lot of us have assumed for a long time, that like Valve has put games on the back burner until they finish up Source 2, and I think you can play Dota 2 on the Source engine too now.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's just like if it's like a test server type thing, or if it's just Dota 2 on the Source 2. But I definitely remember reading something about that, and if I find it, I'll put it in the description.
I think they actually did say that they are putting like games on back burner until they are done with the new Source engine. It was like another event that Gavin was at, but I think he actually did say that.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But that could also mean that maybe they're done with the Source 2, or they're working on it, or almost done.
Yeah.
Because they also could be working on Source engine and making the games alongside of it. Which people do, not games.
Yeah, here's an interesting little fact about Valve in particular. They are a very unique game studio in that their employees are allowed to freely jump from project to project whenever they please. I honestly don't understand how that works. I feel like nothing would get done.
Yeah, exactly.
But Valve, like that's their thing. Like that's one of the things about them is like if you're I don't know, you're working development for Dota 2 and you decide you're bored with it and you don't wanna, you can jump over to Counter-Strike development.
Oh.
I'm sure it's a bit more logistical than that, talk to project manager and stuff. But like that's essentially how it works. It's just like whenever an employee wants, they can go to another project at any point in time.
Interesting. I wonder, I guess, it obviously works because, they're pretty successful, but that seems...
I guess so.
Kind of like
that seems like a disaster. I can't see how that works.
I know. It's like you like master. It's like like Blizzard. It's like, all right, here's the Storm team. There's StarCraft. Blah blah blah. It's like everyone like here's the Storm team. Like they know here's the Storm. Like they know how to develop and what to do. And it's like
exactly
if they're they jumped all of a sudden to like the Overwatch team. Like it might be a little different in the way things are done.
Totally different ballpark.
Yeah,
that is. Yeah, that's believe it or not, a part of being a game developer is you have to play the games you're developing. Like that's something most companies will ask you if you're ever like trying to get game dev jobs. It's like, well, do you play our games?
Yeah, right.
Knowing the game, knowing the mechanics and everything, and knowing the current meta, like that's a very important part of developing it and updating it. So I don't like especially when games are so vastly different, like say Counter-Strike and Dota 2, jumping from one ship to the other.
Yeah, like a MOBA to an FPS.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah, I guess.
Valve's somewhat secretive, so it's sometimes hard to know what goes on the inside, but that is a thing they do. So, it could be that they had a lot of people working on the Source 2, but maybe they're hopping over to develop these new secret games, these VR games, who knows what.
Yep.
I guess
who knows?
Time will tell.
I don't really care for VR much as I don't have a headset yet, but I don't know.
VR, I think VR is so it is so cool. It's just that it's still very new, so most developers are just trying to figure out how to do it the best way without making other people vomit. But it's also just too expensive.
Way too
right
expensive.
now.
Yep. Like you could build a PC for the price it costs.
Exactly.
And you still have to run it, and so you need a good PC to even run it.
Yeah, so you need both things anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it would definitely take off. And I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast before, but around Hollywood, there's a lot of VR rooms starting to appear. And it's basically just you go in there, I assume you pay them an X amount of money, and you play a game in one of their booths on a VR. There's 5 of them around my area. So VR, I think the want is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too expensive right now. They need to figure out a way to lower the price but not lose money.
Yeah.
Because I think I read something that said if they lowered it anymore, they would be essentially losing a lot of money on it.
Well, that comes down I haven't really looked into it that much, but I wonder what costs so much about it.
I think it's just the parts, like the hardware, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might be something more than that, but I think it really is just that like the hardware is very expensive because it's very high end like tech stuff.
Yeah, no, it is. Because I mean, I'm no industrial designer or anything, but like obviously just I don't know what the most expensive part is, but if you could focus that, I mean, like if that makes me think though how much that costs a lot to build, like just like everything together. If they're lower the price, they're gonna lose money. That's expensive to build.
I think even actually God, I haven't heard about them in ages, but the Oculus Rift, I think they made a statement because like they were the first guys to really make a VR device.
Yeah.
And everybody's first complaint was this is way too expensive. And I'm pretty sure I'll have to look for it, and if I find it, I will link the article. But I think they released a statement saying that like, hey guys, we're already losing money on this. Like they're selling it at a price that will make them lose money.
Yeah.
So
they're probably just hoping to make money off like licensing or something. And then Facebook bought them, so they have unlimited money pretty much. I don't know. But I mean, well, Steam has proved, or Valve has proved they could make good hardware with like the Steam Link, and like it was on sale, and if you buy, I don't even remember the game. But the game was like $8. If you buy the game, you could they gave you a Steam Link for $1. And I was like, even if I don't even use it, like $9 for this thing that costs $60. I was like, I'll take it. And I mean, they obviously must have found a good way to produce that pretty cheaply. But yeah, I don't probably sound like, all these VR enthusiasts listening. They're like, these normies, like, what do you talk about? You don't know these.
Yeah, we don't know anything.
Yeah,
but I mean, I do
speculation.
Know. Yeah, super speculation.
Yeah,
but I mean, like there's no denying VR is new. I think it is definitely the next step to take. It's there. It's very cool. It's just we've got to figure out what works best, and we're getting there. Like VR's come a long way from when the Oculus first came out. And people were like actually just barfing their brains out when they tried to play for more than 5 minutes,
Yeah, exactly.
It's come a long way.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see where it'll go. And I think Valve leading the charge is a good. They're fairly innovative, and they'll come up with some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. One more point. I wonder if, because obviously it's the HTC Vive, so they produce it or they make it with HTC, and HTC is known for making phones and stuff. I wonder if they're gonna push HTC out, or what they're gonna do. I wonder. I think the big reason they partner with them is because they're based in like Taiwan or something, so they're kind of over where the big manufacturing stuff is. And like Google just a couple months ago, they bought like did it like a good part of the HTC team. I think it was like the design team or something specific, but it was like a good chunk of it, and I wonder if that affected them at all, or if they're still gonna keep working with them to make the Vive, because I could just see them like almost buying out, like there's probably like a share, like buying out their share, and he'd be like, all right, we're gonna do this on our own now.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, there is like phone VR out there. I don't know if it is HTC that does it, but like
I think Google's pretty big, like Google Dream something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, like maybe they'll just have a little side project team for phone VR.
Yeah, well,
I think that's too out there.
I mean, well, that's what I'm saying, like, because HTC works with them on the Vive, so that's like, I don't know if they're gonna continue working with them, but not this phones, but just in general. But yeah,
interesting stuff. Well, I don't have a good transition for this one, but we're gonna talk about software again. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has released their roadmap for 2018, essentially like what they plan to put out within this year. Brady, do you have a list of that stuff?
Yeah. Let me just pull it up here. But so pretty much it was like, it came out of early access not long ago, so they need now they need a plan to what to do next, almost.
Right.
But this is like a brief list, and we can go into more detail. But they're going to update the graphics. They're adding 2 new maps. They're adding emotes. Big competitor with Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah.
They're adding new game modes. Again, could compete with Fortnite. They're adding new vehicles, weapons, weapon attachments. So just new overall content. And then further character customization, which honestly I don't care because it's like loot box system right now. Unless they change out of that. But then they're overhauling third person and first person to make them smoother. Which honestly, I just need to overhaul the game to make it smoother. But making sounds more detailed, just kind of interesting. You don't really think about that when you're playing. And then they want to focus more on esports. I think they said like spectator stuff. And then the release of the API, which that could actually be really interesting because that opens it up to like stat websites, like like Overwatch has Master Overwatch and Winston's Lab and stuff. So it'll lead to things like that and other like detail oriented stuff, which that could lead back to esports again. And that was pretty much the overall summary of it.
Interesting. There's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, so they just like threw everything out there. They didn't really honestly though, they didn't go into specifics that much besides like maps and gameplay. Because so they're adding a smaller map, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. They said it was for like the like get the overall battle royale experience, the fighting and stuff, just like instant. So faster games, most likely more action.
So Fortnite.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I don't know how it's a 4x4 kilometer map. I don't know how big Fortnite's is compared.
I'm not sure.
But I think the normal one's 8x8. I could be totally wrong, but
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
So if that's true, half the size of the normal map.
Yeah,
and the normal maps are huge.
Yeah, they showed a little concept art. Of what the map will look like. But we'll see. And then with the emote system, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're adding emotes. They show a little GIF of like almost like a wheel, just like Fortnite. Right. And I guess Overwatch. Just a lot of other games use that. But emotes. So I don't wonder how you'll be able to unlock them if it'll be like the loot box system. Still.
More loot box.
Yeah,
probably.
like fuck that. All right. Anyways, no positive episode. Positive.
You're right.
And then the new game modes. So
yeah, what are the new game modes?
Yeah, so it says that they're still in the early days, like of actually getting all the bugs and details out of the game modes, and that's all I said.
Oh, great!
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Cool. Player unknown, keeping it mysterious.
Also, something kind of interesting. There's a dev team behind PUBG, right? It's not just player unknown anymore. Because
he's got like a whole team in South Korea, I think.
Oh, they're in Korea. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyways, he always in the article he always says I have been working. Just I don't know. It's like the team.
I think it's just like keeping the character,
Yeah.
Like just this mysterious guy who's made this crazy hyper realistic game all by himself.
Yeah, I guess he's taking
kind of discredits all like the hard work that like his team is putting in.
Yeah, the team behind it. And then they're adding new vehicles. It says in the first half of the year. So hopefully that's soon. And then he said, want to continue expanding our weapon set and new weapon attachments. And he like teased like a little picture of it, but I didn't really care enough to actually look up what people think. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's like a close up of a gun.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all right, cool.
I'm not that much of a gun nut. I don't know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I know guns and I don't even know what it is. But anyways, they're also adding a new 8x8 map. So he says another new map, so we'll see. But it's an 8x8 map, 8x8 kilometers.
Is there no more detail than that?
Yeah, it just says that, and the smaller one, they're going to have an experimental test servers, which I think almost all of this will be on, and I think some of it's already out.
I think the island map is on the test server.
Yeah, I think so too.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. This is another Fortnite thing. They're adding achievements, or they're testing achievements in game, which I think that could lead to the new content of a way to unlock it.
That would be cool.
Because I mean, I don't know. Does it have like Steam achievements? I don't know if it does, but I think they're adding like more of an in-game kind of thing,
right? That would be cool if that was the way to unlock it. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, very Fortnite-y, but like. If they pull from each other in positive ways, then sure, it makes both games better.
Yeah, but it's really knowing that it's not a free to play game like Fortnite, but they still have like loot crates, but loot boxes. Yeah. Anyway,
that's true.
And then it says in-game friend list, which I'm pretty sure they already have.
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't really understand.
Because maybe, I don't know, but
that's odd.
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something. And then squad voice chat in the main menu too. So, but I mean,
I feel like most people who play it are using Discord anyways,
exactly. But I think that's what they want to get away from. It's like, no, just use our game. Oh, that could also be. Oh, that could probably be the friends list thing.
Oh yeah, maybe like a more in-depth voice chat thing within their game.
Yeah,
that could be. I don't feel like why even bother? Like people who are playing on Xbox have like the Xbox like parties that they're gonna be in, and PC gamers have Discord.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even like try to compete.
Yeah, rip Skype. Yeah, and then they said that you could customize your character's parachute and weapon skins.
Okay,
and it says, it said that it'll help the future to help with this. So like the achievements in the game, friends list and stuff. So we'll see how that goes through. And then this is something for more hardcore players. I didn't really read much into it, but it says they're testing limb and vehicle bullet penetration. So, like, getting like collaterals, like no scope collaterals,
Gosh.
But like shooting through vehicles, which I thought that already existed. Maybe not metal.
Like people are plenty good at sniping me while I'm driving my car anyways, so I don't know like why make it easier for them.
Yeah, right. But it says it's like add new depth to the ballistic system and increase the realism, which I guess that makes sense. Maybe there'll be like, so I don't know if this is the case already, but certain bullets only penetrate, maybe penetrate so much, or certain materials. Maybe even
like
that
different ammo types. You mean?
Yeah.
That could be.
Because I mean,
I feel like that's considering like the way like PUBG is. If that's not in their plans, it'll make its way into their plans at some point. It just seems like something they would do.
Yeah, exactly. But nothing mentioned. I feel like they're actually pretty decent at listening to the community. They always like say like, oh, go over their forums, like we want to hear what you have to say. I don't know how what people have suggested and they've actually changed, but I don't know, because they say it like at the end, like we want your feedback, like if you have any concerns, let us know so we know.
It's interesting because they also they mentioned like we're gonna keep like improving the sound design and we're gonna update the graphics again. And for any other game I would be like, why are you wasting your time on that? But part of they don't market it as much as this anymore, but PUBG's thing is like, we are the most realistic shooter that exists, like that's a big part of their thing
besides Arma. But that's where the mod came from anyway, so it's heavily based on. Pulled from his Arma influence of making a hyper-realistic shooter. Yep. So it makes sense that they're going to keep tweaking the sounds and making the game look even better. That's like a little, it's kind of off track, but like that's a crazy thing in itself, because like PUBG is a very, very good-looking game that's like
pretty hard to run on good settings.
Yeah.
And yet so many people play it. Like...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Because I think at the end of February, there's like a new, you use NVIDIA, like a GeForce driver, and it's like, this will improve the performance of the game by up to 7%. And it's like, you're like,
ooh.
Yeah, like, okay. Like, but it's like, they're like really specific and like almost proud. Like, we improved it by 7%. So if hopefully they get it in like increments like that by, like end of the year, sometime soon, it's like, all right, like another couple months is like another 7% or another 10%. It'll eventually get to what it needs to be and actually be somewhat optimized.
Yeah, it's who's to say?
Yeah.
Well, so for most of the things we mentioned, this is just all stuff that's going to come out in 2018. There's not really, at least I think, right? There's not really like actual release dates or anything for it.
Yeah, they always just say like in 2018. Some of the stuff it's like it'll be in the test server, but they haven't said like when it'll actually come to the game. Like they don't have an actual timeline, even though they kind of said this is their timeline. But
is the people who play on Xbox, are they able to access test servers, or is that just a PC?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would assume just PC, because I don't really know how the server system works on Xbox.
That's true.
But I don't know. I feel like that'd be a lot in a way, not to shit on the console people, but they want to test it on PC first, and then they'll probably move it to the Xbox after, because I think bug reporting and things of that sort's kind of easier to test on the PC.
That's true.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and we'll know pretty soon. Actually, we'll look it up. We'll look it up, and we'll leave in the description if we find anything about if it's on, because the test servers are live right now. So if they have it on Xbox, we could see it.
And if you're watching on YouTube and you're looking at gameplay of us on a new map right now, then you'll have found out firsthand that it is on the test server.
Yeah. But then just to kind of go through the rest of fast, they're overhauling the first and third person to make them smoother and more reactive. And it says even animation for like getting inside vehicles and changing seats and things of that sort.
Interesting.
And then the parachute system they want to overhaul, make it more responsive and better animations once again. And then they mention optimization and security, because Chinese like to hack the game, so they need to find a way to combat that better.
They should bump that to the top of the list.
Seriously. Yeah, a lot of that stuff though is just really secret. Like they don't really talk about that kind of stuff, most companies, because they don't want, them finding out how they do things.
It makes it easy for the hackers,
Yeah. But then, this changing the sound, like the detail, that's pretty much, they say the specifics, but it's sound.
Right. It's going to sound better.
Yeah. And then they said they're adding a 3D replay system, which is for the esports.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the APIs, obviously. And then they also said custom games that'll be expanded to allow like more control and better quality of life, and like you can actually save presets. So I might see something. I saw that word. There might be something in the future where you could like almost like a server browser, like kind of Overwatch. They added that a little later in, where they have like custom game modes and you could join and just play with people online. And
that'd be cool.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. They said that keep in mind that this list of new features and systems is not exhaustive as far as 2018 is concerned, and there's other things they want to introduce that they're not ready to talk about. So it seems like they have a lot planned. And
so essentially they're saying if they get through that whole list and there's still time, that there could be more that comes out in 2018.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. They're definitely keeping busy. That's good.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like a lot of games, once they come out of early access, it's just like, all right, bye.
Yeah, like the game's out and that's it. Here's some DLC to give us some more money.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I do think. I think PUBg came out of early access too early. I think it was really just like a a winter sale like cash grab.
Yeah.
But at least they seem to be developing it as actively as they were before when it was in early access. So
yeah,
whatever.
Exactly.
Fine.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at least they're continuing development.
Yep. Speaking of patches and updates, I got it.
4 for 5.
That's pretty good. I'll take it. We have the Kingdom Come Deliverance patch has finally come out. The patch that we talked about like in the last feels like 4 podcasts that they said was gonna. It's coming out this week. It's coming out this week. It is finally here. It is 2 weeks late, but it is here.
Yeah. At least it's here.
It adds a save and quit feature, which was my biggest gripe with the games. Yeah. So I might actually like pick it up and play it again now that I don't have to worry about like wasting my saves or anything. They didn't go into specifics, but they said they also fixed about 300 quests in the game. I know a lot of the main storyline quests were bugged and they couldn't progress. Our friend Dylan, he kind of had to stop playing the main storyline for the last 2 weeks because he got to a point where it was bugged and he just couldn't progress. So he's just been kind of screwing around doing side quest stuff. So he was pretty happy that he could progress the story again. There's a lot of stuff, but this was one in particular I wanted to touch on. Lock picking for the consoles has been made significantly easier. I mentioned this because one of my friends was asking my thoughts on lockpicking for Kingdom Come because he had it for the PS4, and it was apparently for him so bad that he ended up selling the game again because he couldn't get past the tutorial like lockpicking thing.
Yeah,
and honestly, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Even with a mouse, it's hard.
Yeah,
it took me like 15-20 tries to unlock that stupid first chest. So I can't imagine doing that with like little joysticks, you know.
Seriously.
But that's been fixed. It's supposed to be much easier to stay on target with the sweet spot, as they call it. So that's good. Good job, Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
I think you need to not give like dates that you're going to release things.
Not follow through.
Yeah.
But I think so. This is just an opinion, but so the game's single player, but I think they did some good balancing stuff because they mentioned things like making some things a little easier, like guards won't frisk you down, or because if you have stolen things. And then they also said like, there's chests that just has way too good of gear, so we just took it out because it's too easy, and like a couple other things like that. And I think that's it's good signs of like a good like game developer.
Dev team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it's who's gonna care about whether it's too hard or not, even if it's a single player game. No one complains or that much, or if it's too easy. The game's hard enough to begin with. But I think it's cool that they actually like somewhat balanced a single player game.
Yeah, that is kind of the almost like the sad truth with a lot of single player games. Outside of like game breaking things, developers really don't go back to balance out things. Like if it turns out like this weapon is overpowered, a lot of times developers is like, well, it's single player.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is really cool that they are still looking to balance out the game so that the experience is just more fair and fun. And it's not because like people don't, it's a weird thing because some people think like I've got this sword and it's by far the most powerful sword in the game, so I could just chop my way down through everything. And some people like that. Somebody like me, I get that sword and suddenly the game becomes boring because nothing's even a remote challenge anymore. And it's so my options are either, well, don't use that sword and use something I just undoubtedly know is much worse, or just stop playing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or find mods that balance it out.
Yep. Yeah, which hopefully that's cool. Coming soon too.
Yeah. I mean, there are some mods, like most people up to this point. Dylan yelled at me about this every single day that I didn't play, but there's a unlimited saves mod.
Yeah. Too much though.
Too much. I don't want to have to mod already.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's nice that they are they're balancing a single player game. It seems like almost unheard of, or at least even when it is done, like developers don't really talk about it. It's just like a whatever, who cares kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I just noticed this was a complaint that I had. You could now disable VSync. So the thing, like, which the big problem I was having is, the game just doesn't run that well. It's not optimized the best to begin with, and it's at 60, and then anytime you drop, it's going to go below 60, and being PC, you could tell, like, it's.
Oh yeah,
it's like it's almost like a stereotype, but it's annoying. It really is. And now that you can disable it, you might be able to get above 60. So if it drops, then you actually have might be able to maintain 60 at a minimum. And then they also, I guess some people still use 30 hertz monitors, but they said you could get smoother frame rate on VSync 30, and it's like for consoles and some PCs. So like, man, who uses
some PCs?
It's like, damn, you must. Yeah, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, why? And they need to buy an upgrade.
Yeah, and then they also added Steam Cloud Saving, which it's kind of nice because sometimes it's that time you just want to wipe your hard drive, get a fresh start, and you don't want all your saves to go away. So if you want to maybe use a Steam Link, you could go and you could load your save and stuff too. But I don't really know how Steam Link works. Maybe you will pull it for your computer. But yeah, I think that's kind of cool. I thought it had it. I feel like most games now just have the Steam Cloud saving enabled to begin with. So
yeah, it's catch-22 with that. I feel because it is really nice. Because sometimes like you just need to wipe your hard drive and kind of start over. And if your save's gone, that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but it's nice having the cloud save, but also nobody likes to think about this because nobody wants this to ever happen. But if Steam dies one day, there goes all our games. Like there goes the literal thousands of dollars I've sunk into Steam. There's a website actually. It's a little off topic. But there's a website that takes your Steam account and calculates how much money you've spent. That was a soul-crushing day.
If you want to ruin your day, go ahead and we'll have that link in the description. Yeah,
actually, we will put that in because it's kind of funny. But when I did that a year ago, it was like, you've spent about $6,000 on games. And that doesn't include in-game purchases, like subscriptions, any of that. It's like, that's just the base. That hurt, man.
Oh, God.
It's fun, though. It's cool to see. But that's like... Assuming I never bought another game, if Steam were to just explode and never exist, that's $6,000 that I just
down the drain,
burnt up. Yeah. Let's hope that never happens.
Nope.
Valve.
Oh god,
never
Valve's
die.
better than that.
They are. They'll figure it. Maybe they just have like some secret backup plan just in case.
Oh, I'm sure. Like doomsday servers.
Yeah. In case the apocalypse happens.
Yeah, and people still need a game,
Gotta have your priorities straight. Oh, all right. Well, I think that covers just about everything for this episode. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully, if you haven't, you can check us out on YouTube, on Steam, like we mentioned, Discord, Twitter. We're getting pretty active on there again. We mentioned it last week, but we pretty much post a lot of just about anything newsworthy that happens, which there's always things. There's lots of stuff, and we can't cover it all on the podcast. So if anything, follow us on Twitter. We will talk about, or we'll post things that happen. You could read up there if you're interested, and if we missed it on the podcast. And we do have our website. It is alive, I promise. Brady mentioned it pretty early in the episode, but Brady actually wrote an article about the Fortnite on mobile, so you can check that out. See what. Give some feedback, maybe. Do whatever you'd like.
Yep, definitely.
And so we'll keep pumping out stuff on our website as well. Get our own opinions. So eventually we can just always link to our website instead of other websites' articles. That's the goal, anyways. We'll get there one day. But thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you next week.